Well, welcome back to our podcast. My name is Dr. Kathleen Kendall-Tackett, and I am actually the editor-in-chief of Preclaris Press. And with me again today is Dr. Diane Sanford, and we are here to talk about National Home Caregivers Month. And particularly the topic that we're interested in is how can home caregivers prevent burnout and compassion fatigue? So Diane, what are some things that home caregivers can do? Because it's such an important role, and it's also such a role that causes tremendous stress for people.
So before we talk about our top 3 tips, let me actually read something from the book, from our chapter, Self-Compassion Always. So we say in Stress Less, Live Better, finding little things in life that make you feel good is an important part of self-compassion, self-care, and mindfulness. Our actions help refill our emotional pitcher so that we have the energy and strength we need to weather life's changes. So the first thing that we want caregivers to do is be caring of themselves. So befriending themselves, to recognize instead of what they're not doing or what's left to be done, all the wonderful things that they have done. And if they start to be self-critical, if you start to be self-critical, then think of yourself in the way you would a friend. What would you say to a friend that needed support and encouragement and might be experiencing burnout in her family or in her work? By doing this, Kathy, what happens is that we have more energy for what's positive in our lives, including feeling good about ourselves. So that's the first thing that helps us prevent, like a tongue twister, helps us prevent burnout and compassion fatigue. Another thing that we want to do is practice loving kindness. And there are a couple of really great loving kindness meditations which I recommend. Again, what loving kindness means is being compassionate first towards yourself and then towards others. And so many caregivers aren't even on their self-care list. That loving kindness encourages us to promote this attitude towards ourselves as well as others. So the 2 that I like in particular, which are pretty easy to do, and if you listen to the tape once or twice, you'll get the hang of it.
Yeah.
The first one's from Dr. Joan Borisenko, and she says, "May I be at peace, may my heart remain open, may I know the beauty of my own true nature, may I be healed, may I be a source of healing for others." So again, first we ask to be healed and then to be a source of healing, so that our own care and nurturing ourselves helps refill our pitcher. The other one that I really like comes out of a new book that Martha Beck wrote called Diana Herself, which is Lessons in Living, really, which is what she writes about. And she says, it's very simple, it's 3 sentences. She says, "Be safe, my dear, be well, my love, live in joy and peace." So saying to yourself, silently with your eyes closed, "Be safe, my dear, be well, my love, live in joy and peace." And that leads us into our 3rd tip, which is bring more joy in your life. Caregivers give so much. My mom was diagnosed with dementia a year ago, and it took us a while to find a caregiver that was really great. But the 5 hours she spends with my mom 4 days a week, she is constantly going and anticipating what my mom needs and doing for her whatever she can. So by the end of the day, she's pretty exhausted. Finding more joy in your life means creating moments that you enjoy. So whether that's looking at a magazine, listening to some music, going for a walk, looking out your window and just noticing how beautiful the changing leaves or the snow falling down is, talking to a friend. Again, it's not the big things that really make our lives more pleasant. It's all these small things that we do on a regular basis. And for caregivers, this is just so critical because they're expending all this energy for other people and reserving very little for themselves. So this whole idea of self-care, befriending yourself, practicing loving kindness, and bringing joy into your personal life will go a long way in preventing burnout and compassion fatigue.
That actually sounds like it's great advice for everybody, but I think it's
I
especially
think so, right?
Yeah.
Right. So here's the other thing. I mean, most of us, women in particular, are caregivers in one way or another. And we have to learn how to be care receivers and receive that care and self-love from ourselves first and foremost.
And I think what you've also done too is given people permission to do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have my permission, they have your permission. And again, it's just learning new ways of relating to ourselves, which is what mindfulness and my book, Stress Less, Live Better, is all about.
Well, that sounds great. Well, thank you very much for being here again today. And we look forward to seeing you back on our podcast series. And be sure and take a look at Diane's book, Stress Less, Live Better. It's available from Claire's Press. It's also up on Amazon. I think you'll actually enjoy it. I think you'll get a lot of benefit out of it. And so until next time, thank you very much.
Thanks.